Hello! I am winding bobbins. I realized I forgot to do that, so I wanted to be muted while I did that. But I don't think I'm gonna have enough thread, so I had to use 2 different colored threads. So I had to make 2 different bobbins. I got a strategy. I think I'll sew it together in one thread, hem it in the other. I didn't want to run out of thread for the hems because there's an epic amount of hemming for this. So how are you guys? How are you doing? Happy Saturday. I'm trying to wish my phone would go off. Excuse me while I thread my machine. Oh, I should change my needle. It's been a little bit. Ooh, this thread's really lightweight. All right. Hey, Jill, Melinda. Nice to see you so often, Melinda. Glad you can make it. I told myself today, Melinda, that I'm going to, after the stream, I'm going to focus on my white elephant swap. Just as like a fun, relaxing afternoon. You know what I mean? I'm going to watch a show and do that. I've given myself permission. I've got it, I've got the pattern made and it not cut out, but close. This is not actually the thread I want to sew with, and now I've wasted it twice. So this is the thread I have for the whole project, and I'm just a little concerned because it's French seams that I'm going to use too much thread. And then, because I didn't have enough for serger thread, I definitely don't have a thread that's going to work for the serger. What am I doing? What am I doing? Where is this bobbin? Oh, it's in the machine. Okay. Hi, Elizabeth. How's it going? Hey, Penny. Penny, thanks for your Patreon pledge. I've gotten a couple this week, and I haven't been able to thank anyone yet. Thank you. I appreciate that. The Zoom meeting was fun. Once we got it sorted out. So, let's see here. Usually I am all ready to go. I usually have 2 bobbins of each color I need, and I don't have that today. And then I forgot because I got kind of hung up looking for this light bulb for the box light, so I don't have the box light on today. And I can't find, I put them somewhere really safe. I'm actually really organized, and I don't have a lot of places to hide things that I wouldn't be able to find, you know? And I can't find where I put them. So I'm kind of a little like, what the heck? Now it'll bug me more that I can't find them than that I need it. But the other one was starting to flicker. You guys couldn't see it. It didn't show up, but it was bugging like me visually. So it's too close to me here to be able to do it. I would have been a little bit frazzled. You know what I mean? Okay, so I have this thread. I didn't even check to see if it's going to work. It's kind of the best I have, so it's got to. But I'm going to use it for the French seams. Oh, I want to change my needle. Of course. Because I love threading my needle on camera. Didn't realize my screwdriver's on the floor. How are you guys? Hi Ray, how's it going? Yeah, we saw that you right at the end of the stream. The birthday outfit fit. She liked it. That's a big win. Why is this? I feel like I'm opening this package different than usual, and it's more awkward. I like it when they're in the little cases, but at least this is, you know, just paper. You know? I don't know why. I'm changing the needle, but I still always check the tip. Do you guys do that? You always feel if it's sharp. This one actually, yeah, I guess it's okay. I rarely use a needle twice, but I definitely do on like the specialty needles, the ones you don't use for the whole time, you know? There we go. Take your foot off the foot pedal, Saramy. I didn't clip this thread yet. All right. It's so tiny. Should be easier. Hey! Hey, Mama of 13. Hello, Allison. Yay, you finally caught a live show. Woot woot. Oh, and everyone remember, I wanted to put this in that tip that's so over 50, but I just couldn't fit it. So change your top chat to live chat. Have I missed anybody yet? No, but it changes everybody's colors, which is always funny. All right, so we're making the, my camera's a little zoomed in today. See if I can move it a little bit. We're making the Style Sew Me Madison cardigan today, and it is sponsored by Hearts. They give me the project, I sew it up, and then I send it back to them. I don't get to keep it, but we at least get to experience it. This pattern's intended for knits, and on Thursday I converted the pattern for this viscous linen noil that we're using in this coppery color. There is a lot of shaping in it, and it has a set-in sleeve and oodles of hemming, and then the cascade ruffles just kind of happen naturally with the way it drapes. So you can see my strategy on how I did that on Thursday and kind of skip ahead to the bits that you want to know. It's possible. So let's see. I also added pockets. So those are my two main mods that I made it hopefully so that this will work in knit. And I did it in the simplest way possible since this is for hearts. I didn't do it like, I didn't go about it in a really complicated way. I focused on the armhole on the sleeve. So, oh, I didn't even see there's pictures, Melinda. You know, our power was out for... Well, I didn't check my iron camera. Our power was out for the last few days. So I've been kind of minimal on there. I'm just going to check my iron cam. Okay, it's on. Let's see. Is it actually on? Yeah, okay. The face cam's on too. That's really funny. Let's see. Where's the... There we go. Because I don't really have a face cam for the iron. But when I sew with the serger, I use the iron camera, and occasionally it's not, if I'm going to be there for a while, I'll try and put a face cam on. And I've just been cheating and using the one with the monitor, and the monitor's facing me right now, so that's why that worked. That's funny. All right, so let's see. This might be the fronts. Looks like it with this point. We want the back and the side back first. This is the side back. I'm going to put the side back and the back together first. And then we're going to do the shoulders, pockets, sleeves, hemming. That's my plan. Pockets, sleeves, hemming. Yeah, we're doing it all today. Let's do it. So it's half-inch seams. But I'm going to do French seams. Oh, I forgot this fabric's a little thready. That's kind of a bummer. Let's see if we think this fabric has a right or wrong side. It's kind of dull on the camera. It looks a little wrinkly too. We'll fix that. Let's brighten it up just a little bit more so I don't have the camera on, or the light on. Is that okay? Hey Nicole, how's it going? Happy Saturday. Sorry, it's a little wrinkly. Do you guys like to iron all your pieces before you sew? I kind of like it that way, you know. Hey Claire, nice to see you. Let's see, I'm gonna look at this fabric. I feel like sometimes it looks like one side is different than the others, but most of the time it's not. So if this one looks good with this, then the other one will too. All right, so I'm going to do some pretty small French seams since the seam allowance is only 1/2 inch. I'll probably just have to trim off these little threads, you know. So I'm going to do like a fat 1/8 of an inch. Ooh, this feels like I'm sewing in like through molasses. Wonder why. Maybe I'll lighten up my pressure on my presser foot. You know how I hate doing that because I really like really firm pressure on my presser foot. I like my presser foot to be another hand helping me sew. My notches are a little deep here. I'm just going to go straight through them. That'll be okay since that's not my final seam. they think I'm cool? I doubt it. You do. I do too, Melinda. I ironed it before, but then I, like this got wrinkly since. I'm a really bad gamer. But it's funny because I have played Fortnite for like over 2 years. And I kind of fell off of it this spring. I got kind of sick of it. What did I see? Oh, someone tweeted something about it. And it was like these old pictures. And it really made me nostalgic. Because it was kind of a really fun time when it was, like, it's still a really popular game. But it was in its heyday at one point, you know what I mean? And so, and I played since the first day, both modes. I got early on it. So remember when I decided to, I cut the length of the medium, because this is the size that Hearts wants is a medium, but I couldn't cut the medium out. It wouldn't have fit since it's intended for knits. So I still stuck with the medium length, even though we sized it, we cut a different size to make it a medium for the knit thing. So I didn't actually measure my seams and everything, so my seams are probably not going to match. I was almost about to stretch it to match, and I was like, let's not do that. It's probably because you can't just cut sometimes on the line if you're cutting a different size. It won't quite work. Hey, Barbara. Yeah, Cuphead is hard. I'm really liking it, though. My friends are really curious about that game. I've gotten more messages from people I don't usually talk with regularly that are on my PlayStation friends list. Just out of the blue, people will say, hey, how do you like that game? Or they'll say, oh, Phoenix, will you, something's tickling me. Will you stream it? Because I don't stream gaming, but the PlayStation's really easy to stream if you connect it to Twitch. It just happens, or YouTube, instantly. It's really easy. And I have done that for friends just to watch gameplay, because not always their internet's good enough to like watch you through PlayStation, so you have to stream it. And it's like they're the only person watching, but I can't. My internet's not good enough at home now. But it is one of those games that people are really interested in, and it's really cool. It's only $20 too, so they should just buy it. So, it's not a big deal. I'm really into a game called Rogue Company right now, but it's player versus player. What is tickling me? My hair is so light colored right now. Oh, there it is. I found it. That I can't see it sometimes, I'll sweep the floor and I'm like, wow, there's a lot of hair in there. I couldn't see it. It's like I can see through it. All right. I'm just going to do both my back seams here for this French seam. My gateway game, I don't know how old your kids are, Mama of 13, but my gateway game was Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2. And I still play that with all the friends I met on there. It's a really fun game. The abilities are really funny, and you play as vegetables and zombies, You can't really take it too seriously. I love that. That's what it is about for me. Not taking it very seriously. Plenty of people do, though. All right. Ooh, I'm a little off. There we go. All right, so I'm going to trim up this little edge here. We're going to iron it, and then we can do a second pass. This jacket's probably going to go pretty quickly, except for the hemming. That will not. It's got hemming for days. Hey, Nika, how's it going? I saw you streaming recently, or maybe it was an uploaded video. I checked it out. It was nice to see what you were up to. This is, okay. You're seeing it right. Look at that color. That's not what color it is. I don't know why. There, that's a little better. What the heck? I'm going to find some... I get some bigger scissors. Actually, I'm gonna get my rotary knife. I think something like this is a little easier to trim the seams with a rotary. I'm gonna move a few things over here. Well, it's good you're keeping busy with work, though. Work is good, you know, when it's good. Work is good when it's good, right? Am I right, everybody? All right, I'm going to trim this down. Whoa, that got a little close there. It happens. I don't usually make my French seams this narrow, but with the 1/2 inch seam allowance, and because you know, we're worried about the sizing of this because it's supposed to be for a knit, I don't really want to take any chances losing some of the seam allowance and the circumference, you know. Luckily, this isn't intended for any one person, so it'll fit someone. Like if they ever sell it at a sample sale, they can try it on. And it'll work then. All right, here we go. Let's try and get all this on my little mat here. Let's do the other one. Try not to handle that seam too much since it's so thready. Oh, and I'll tell you about this fabric, because this is the fabric that Hearts Fabric sent. It's the viscose linen noil. I actually really love it. It's got so much great drape and heft to it. Comes in lots of good colors. They send it to us occasionally for lots of projects. The color is really fantastic, especially in person. Oh boy. I almost got a little off track there, didn't I? You probably can't see the seam as I can, but the autofocus, man. You guys can shout at me to change things. Let's fix that. I didn't set this camera up, so no wonder. Let me sharpen it up a little bit. There we go. Woo, that's really close. I feel like with scissors you have a little bit more control, but you it's a little harder to catch those little fussy bits, you know? Oh, you're welcome, Kathleen. Yeah, thank you, Malin. I'm glad you were about to. That bugs me. So many people don't turn that off, and ooh, I can barely watch when it's like that. It really makes me dizzy. Here we can do a little bit of ironing here. I'm really glad that collar video, so many people are finding it, and it's really helpful. The comments are really great on it, and they really make me happy seeing that. That and the set-in sleeve one. Even the yoke, I'm really surprised even the non-burrito yoke one gets a lot of love, even though that's such a simple thing. I was going to make a video on sewing elastic into a waistband with the serger. I just haven't gotten to it yet because the fabric I want to use was that Poppies in that Instagram story. And I forgot I hadn't pre-washed it. So sometimes I just use sample fabric for those videos. Wait, I'm going to do it from this side. I'm gonna make a pair of pants just for that video, and I'm gonna do French seam, inseam pockets, and elastic on a waist using your serger. Ooh, what's going on there? using my crooked cut, beautiful poppy fabric. Don't get me started on it. Okay, that's why that was a little wonky. Yeah, see, that's not even going the right way there. It doesn't matter what way you press this, you just need to press it one way. You don't have to, but it makes this part right here so much easier. You can really foul up your seam allowance if you don't get this little seam, the little edge here, right on the edge for your French seam. And I have to admit, most of the time before I started streaming, I did not iron this at all. And it definitely wasn't as nice results. Oh, nice, Mullen. I've actually think I've seen that book on the shelf and thumbed through it, but I don't have that book. Yeah, I did it recently, Nicole, if you're in a hurry, I'm pretty sure it's the pants #1 video that I did like 2 months ago. It's pretty recent. It's the patchwork pants I made in cat fabrics in black, white, and gray. If you're looking through photos, that I'm pretty sure I went through it. I should just look and see if that's good enough to use because I can use it. But I thought I'd make a dedicated video. Dedicated videos are really helpful. I'm gonna repress this right here because I can tell it's not. Yeah. All right. Yeah, look at that. Come on. You had one job. Just to press one direction. Look at all these threads already popping up. These are definitely, some of this is definitely going to show. Wow, I just trimmed it. You watched me, and look at all this. This fabric is worth it. But I have a feeling we're going to have some renegades. You know? Try not to handle it. Look at that. Sheesh. Hey, Eliza. Listening to Christmas music. You are in the mood. Oh, nice, Allison. The baggy lower back. What does that mean? You mean like on the legs or on the lower back of the jeans? That's smart to do some shorts. I've done that too. I like to think that those shorts are wearable, but I honestly do not wear them. You know? They're fine. They're just like, there's just something about them that feels too lightweight. I think the denim I used was just too lightweight. Oh, the waistband. Baggy, huh? Oh, meaning like the circumference is a little too big in the back. Well, that's not too bad of a fix then. You just need to dart the center back if that's enough of it. Okay, let's try and keep this together. We know it's probably still going to act up. We're gonna get some threads. It's just how it's gonna be. Yeah, right, Malin. I mean, it is a good fabric for French seams, but then it also is a fabric that creates a lot of threadiness. So, 6 of one, half dozen of the other, right? but I am going to do it a little bit on the wider side because I really did some narrow prep. It's trying to push my presser foot away from it though because of this little tiny seam allowance right there in there. You can't see it, but this thread color is working. I'm so glad. I felt a little bad that I wasn't going to use the one they sent, but it actually works really good. That so rarely happens for me. I never used to have trouble matching thread, and then I feel like lately it's gotten really hard. So here's where my notches were. But see, they're going to get enclosed, so it's going to be fine. Yeah, it's not ideal, but you wouldn't want to sacrifice the circumference of the garment just because you have those notch holes there. Okay. I'm not going to look yet. I don't want to know yet. Look at this. Oh my, look at this really big thread. I just trimmed this thing within an inch of its life. What the heck? Go away. Sheesh. It's like they're being pushed out of the fabric, right? I feel like it's taken me a long time to get used to these scissors, but now I really love them. Like, I look for them now, you know? I feel like they're better. I don't want these threads to show on the other side. I have a feeling they will. All right, well, YOLO. Okay. I think I changed 3 times today because I was like, I wasn't thinking about what I was making at first, but then I was like, oh, I know I shouldn't have looked right. But then I was like, oh, this Scout tee actually goes color-wise with this copper jacket I'm doing today, and I was gonna wear jeans, and then I was like, oh, well then I could at least try it on then over the, you know, over my outfit and have a picture if it fits me. And then my husband was like, it's gonna be 90 degrees today. I was like, oh yeah, I can't wear this. It'll be too hot. I looked through, I changed 3 times, not for this, because I literally have nothing that goes with this in the style it is. It's so stylish, and everything I wear is so, I'm not going to say I'm not stylish. I'm not trying to say that I'm not stylish. I don't think I am in this way. I feel like this is far more stylish than I am. But I'm definitely like, it's not my way of dressing. I wear, you know, cutesy dresses, you know. And I just had to give up. I was like, yeah, like nothing in your wardrobe's going to fit, you know, with this. So just having one of those days where I had to change a lot. I ironed 3 different things to wear. All right, let's see. Well, where'd all those threads go? What the heck? There's one. You gotta be really careful pulling these things because you don't want your fabric to run, you know. I've never had that happen. Non-conformist threads. Yeah, I think like a lot of pants, like I don't know. I think I came about in the era where pants never fit me in the waist, you know. My hips were, the difference between my hips and my waist was just too much. So off the rack pants never fit me. And then I had this one pair, and they were called boys cut jeans. They were girls, but they were boys. They were called boys cut, and they were a little lower. And it was the first pair of jeans I'd ever had that fit me without the gapping in the back waist. This is way before like the low rise thing. They weren't that low, but they just weren't up at my natural, like my narrowest part of my waist. They were a little lower. And I remember those jeans so good. Like, we all remember the first pair of jeans we had that fit us, I'm sure, you know? And that gapping at the back waist. I'm pretty sure I see Brittany Jones on Instagram do tutorials on that a lot. Narrowing that back waist. She does it exactly how I would do it too. Pretty sure it's her. I can't remember. You guys know me. I'm so unreliable with accounts. Hey, Karen, how's it going? Iron for the future. Right, Ray? That's so smart, right? Yeah. Yeah, like that's the one thing I do need. I need clothes that don't need ironing in my go bag. That seems so decadent, you know? But I literally like putting clothes like this in a go bag when you're like, okay, I gotta go stay at my parents because there's a fire nearby. It seems like such a weird thing to have all like the regular, like, I don't know why. The mood just doesn't seem, it's like when you're that focused on that, you're not focused on like, oh, I need to iron my dress and get ready to hang out at my mom's all day and stare at the news, doom scrolling, you know what I mean? I would much rather have clothes that I feel like I still look nice in, but that are comfortable, that don't need ironing, you know? I need some things like that. And I don't know what those are yet. I need a go bag capsule wardrobe. Never thought I'd say that. All right, I'm going to do the shoulders now. And then we'll do the side seams and the pockets. Pocketses. This thing is so long, I don't want it to touch the ground. I did sweep, but that means absolutely nothing in here. So now, don't get the neck and the armhole confused. This is not your neck. Like, if you're just holding it, you might think that this is the center front with a little V-neck, right? But that's not how it looks. So this would be totally a mistake I would make. Hey, Tanya, how's it going? You know, I need to pay attention when I'm doing things like this. This front is bigger, longer scoop here because of the cascades, right? So that was my friendly reminder. You guys have seen me make the dumbest mistakes. That would totally be one I would do. Not calling you dumb if you made that mistake, by the way. Those silly things we do, you know what I mean? Yeah, the Alcott could work. I actually like that. Yeah, Barbara, that's a good look. My only issue is that it's too hot. Like, fire season typically is really hot here. Oh, that's cool, Kathleen. I haven't made that of hers. I like her little bomber jacket she came out with this week. It looks a lot like the Rigel bomber. I don't like this little bump I have. You see that? I'm gonna hope that the weight of the French seam is gonna pull that down and straighten it out. That's kind of a weird thing to hope for. But here we are. So do I iron this one or not? It's kind of short. Maybe I can finger press it. I'll finger press it. I bet finger pressing it's going to get me so many threads. Yeah, because that is exactly what I put originally, Barbara. I don't know if you heard me say that, but my go bag when I got to my mom's house the first time was filled with clothes as if it was late November. And at the time, I actually thought, oh, I would need clothes suitable for November. And that was just a really weird little thing in my head because that is when my parents evacuated to my house. It was in November. And so I just think it was some sort of weird psychological thing that I did, forgetting that, oh, no. You need summer clothes, you know, it's usually kind of hot. So I kind of roasted the first day there. A little bit of torquing right there. It's not too bad though. All right, so we have one shoulder. Let's do our other. This is going to be a heavy one on the table today. All right, so my fabric is also very easy to confuse. I want to do this wrong sides together, and I was just having like a moment where I couldn't figure out if that was the wrong side. You know? Oh. You can, is it too warm, Penny? Hey, Una, how's it going? Yeah, I was thinking actually today, like, what, I don't mind ironing. I actually don't mind it and I enjoy it. It would kind of be nice to have a few things that I don't have to iron, you know? And I was just thinking today, like, what if I made the tea house dress in a knit? You know? The Alcott, though, I actually really love the way that felt. I just like wearing dresses. They're just really comfortable. I don't like things around my waist very much, especially now I'm feeling a little tubby, you know? It just was more comfortable. Okay, got this other shoulder. I don't know why I'm second guessing the right side of the fabric right now. It's one of those days. Yeah, it doesn't get cool enough. Yeah, I made, that kind of reminds me, Penny, of when I made the South Bank sweater by Nina Lee. Trace! Oh my goodness. Trace, it's so good to see you. I've known Trace for a long time. How's it going? You starting to sew a bit? I saw you added hardware to your bag. You were so fancy. Yeah, the first time I made that South Bank sweater was in my needle sharp box, and she sent this really incredible cashmere knit fleece. Not cashmere. Wool, it was wool. Not cashmere. Merino. I miss you too. You used to visit your aunt here, right, Trace? Isn't that who it was? Or your grandma? Just a little, yeah, just a little and fancy. Oh, right, Penny? I know, I do that to myself too. Oh, let's see here. All right, no threads. All right, so let's do our pockets. We doing pockets. Let's see here. Did I notch the side seam? I feel like I did, but it would be so me not to have. So let's see. I feel like I probably didn't notch. I was figuring out where they were gonna sit and I didn't notch. That's probably what I did. Let's see here. I know it was like 2 inches below the waist, right? It's like somewhere like here. Might be a little high. Do a little bit lower, like right here. All right. So let's put the notches in so we get our pockets in the same spot on both sides. You know? Yeah, so when I made that sweatshirt dress, whatever it was really a really cool chic dress, you know? I had forgotten that I hadn't pre-washed that fabric, and it was this merino, soft merino wool sweatshirt fleece. And I realized it as I was cutting it out. So I think I cut out like the body and I stopped and then I washed it and then I kept going. And so it didn't fit me. It just didn't quite fit. So I ended up giving it to Cricket. I made it into a sweatshirt and it looked really cute on her. And it has like a little turtleneck neck thing. So I'm gonna put it like right about here. I figured out where I wanted this when we were making the pocket, but I didn't tell the pattern. So let's put it on the other side here. All the semblant. I think I've seen that hoodie dress. Dang. Cozy sounds good, but it is not cozy weather here. I told you, Michael was trying to light a fire like last week, and I was like, don't you dare. Downstairs it might have been fine, but not upstairs. He would have been like lighting a fire under me upstairs where I'm sitting there. And my chairs that I sit in like when I'm playing games are hot. All right, where'd those notches go? I just put in there. What the heck? This thing is thready. Oh, that's awesome, Penny. Are you still here, Trace? Trace, have you seen ABC or any folks from that world lately? I have not. I saw Sophie got married. Not like getting married in a pandemic, right? Poor folks. All right, so there's my notch there. And I'm going to do French seams first. This is a lot of jacket. It feels kind of fussy, you know? Keep on there. You're here, okay. I love that you're here. That's such a nice surprise. It's better than doom scrolling Twitter, right? All right, so I'm gonna wait to trim this until we get all these in here. I did that right? I'm totally second guessing the wrong side, so you're gonna do wrong sides together first. I put this notch to line up with my top notch of my pocket so that I could be consistent. That's my pocket opening where the hand goes in, on top of it. So, I am Elizabeth. Oh, really? Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, too crazy. That's pretty cool, though. I'm happy for Sophie. Yeah, Elizabeth, I am. No, it's actually not bad. Every time I do it, I feel like I'm going to have to remember how to do it. And it's honestly just like doing anything else with French seams. You start wrong sides together. And then, here, I can just finish this one maybe. It's all these threads though. Yeah, I want to trim this. Just trim this little area here that you sewed. You're going to lose the notches of your pocket opening. So if you want to mark that so that you can find them later. Otherwise, I would just decide on the fly where you want your pocket opening to be. You know? Where's the other one? I don't know how you guys are keeping track of this. I bet you're not. It's a lot of dress or coat. Okay. So let's see. Let's put where are my pins? Oh, I've been too lazy to put them in the the pin cushion. Okay. I'm just gonna do this. I know where this notch is. It's always about 1.25 inches from my edge. That because I made this pocket and I know that. But you know, you can always just pin it like that or pin it somewhere so you're away from what you're sewing, so you remember that that's your notch there. So, and you only really need it on one side because you're going to be sewing these together next. I kind of do just want to do both sides at the same time though. Sorry, just so I don't have to get up and down for the iron and change the cameras. Oh my gosh, this is so much coat. Okay, here's the side here. What in the actual... Okay, here we go. Here we go. It's so drapey. Here we go. Whew. I survived. So yeah, so I'm doing this. You can't tell that this is the wrong side, but this is the wrong side. So I'm doing the wrong sides together for... Okay. Nice to see you too, Trace. That was really nice of you to stop by. Take care, okay? I love when you check in with me. And Cricket just graduated high school, Trace. I know you probably can't believe that. All right, where's my notch? That's my notch right there. Okay. So yeah, so this is wrong sides together. There's only a 1/2 inch seam allowance on this, so I'm doing a pretty narrow seam to start. It gives me a little more wiggle room later on. Itch pocket doesn't matter as much, you know, so just get it on there. I trim it between here because we're gonna still do the French seam here. I did these the other day. Correctly, and right before that I did these and I forgot to French seam this first part, which is kind of funny. And I think that was on my was it on the Charlie Caftan I did, the floral one? Hey Sydney, how's it going? Because that was one of the outfits I almost wore today, and I noticed a couple threads in there. And I was like, oh, maybe this is the one that I forgot to do the first French seam. So I did the side seam as a French seam, but the pockets to the garment itself were raw. It's not as disastrous as you think, though, you know? It's not a big deal. If you saw the pockets I'm wearing right now, this whole dress has raw edges inside. I didn't finish any of it. And it's totally fine. It's so nice inside. And it's because it's on the bias. The edges are nice and soft and not thick. I'm using my little tiny scissors to do that. All right, let's go to the iron. Nice, Sydney. Happy Saturday. This copper over here, it's so yellow on this screen. All right, let's line up all of our shoulders and pockets so that this isn't too frustrating. We have this one. So same thing, you know, iron your little edge here. And you can nip into this right here. You know, like this. But I'm going to do it probably after I do my seam. Like that. Because you'll probably need it a little deeper. I'm just going to get rid of that. I kind of know where that's at. What's important about your pocket notches really is the opening. And you do want it towards the top of your pocket rather than at the bottom so that you have this whole area here secure for all the stuff going into your pocket down here, right? God, the color is just, it's just dreadful. I can't handle it. What dress am I wearing? Oh, I don't think I said. I'm wearing the, Amelia dress. I've made a ton of these. Wait. The Amelia dress by Green Bee Patterns. It doesn't come in very many sizes. It's a cut on the bias though. I've made a few and I really like it. It's very, very, it's great for if you have quilting cottons. You know, like especially if you were like, oh, I really want to make a dress out of this. And then you started learning, oh, wait a minute. Quilting cottons don't work for dresses. You can actually do that with this one. It's just not a very good fabric for a dress. But if you cut it on the bias, it gives it some drape. This is a ghastly fabric, by the way, Ray. Shannon would point that out to you if she were here. And there is actually a woman on it. She's holding hedge shears, trimmers. What are those called? And she's like peeking out behind the flowers in kind of a menacing, suspicious way. She's very hard to see. I didn't know she was there until I was at the fabric table at the fabric store, and they were cutting my fabric. They were like cutting it, and they're like, "Isn't this so cute how this woman's here?" And I was like, "What woman?" I didn't think it was that cute at the time, but it's fine. You don't really notice it. And this is the dress I was telling you about that the landlord's future in-laws, the mother of the bride, she wanted me to make for her. I was like, "That? You're going to wear that to the wedding?" "Oh, if you can wear it to the wedding, I guess I could." Yeah, Sydney, it is. This is it. Not funny. Maybe, sometimes I think like people mean really well. They mean well when maybe they want something or they like something. And maybe it's the ambiance of it. Maybe it's the colors. Maybe it's the silhouette, You never know. There's lots of reasons to like something. I bet we've all encountered that type of thing where we're like, "I'm going to duplicate the look of this, whatever it is, And then you go about doing it and you're like, "Why isn't mine turning out the same?" And then you show it to a friend and they're like, "Wait, that's how you went about it? But you missed this, this, and this, And it's like, you start realizing like, oh, really what I liked about this is the colors or the shape or the mood of the picture, No, this is not a Shannon leftover. I bought this fabric. She often would tell me I could keep her fabric. I never did because I didn't need more fabric, but I did keep one once, and it was this fabric with cats on it. Let's see if I can find the woman. I think she's right here. I don't know if you can see her. That's her face. She's sideways. There's her hedge trimmers. Right, Sydney? Well, there's that. I have that issue too. I just stopped doing that. Gosh, I feel like my 20s and 30s were spent doing that. All right. Oh, Jane. It wants us to touch the floor. It's like hot lava. Literally lint lava. If Nancy were here, she'd put the command in. Okay. So now I'm just going to finish my French seam with this little pocket edge here. Technically this seam should be lining up almost with your 1/2 inch seam line here, but it probably won't, So don't be too hard on yourself. We kind of smooth that over when we do the opening anyway. Right, Beverly? Yeah, Malin, exactly. Like, where should I put her? I didn't want any unfortunate placement issues with her. Was I cutting things on stream then? Oh, me too, Sydney. I'm really thankful for the conversation too. I think like if you're a knitter, Kim McBride Evans, who's Indigo Dragonfly Fibers, she is really good about talking about that and advocating for that. She is curvy herself, and her patterns include sizing for that for all people. And she's also the one who just got a Beatrice, and she's a knitwear designer, like hand knits, so and I was talking with her. I was commenting on one of her posts, and the thing is, like, The fashion world obviously isn't very inclusive size-wise. It's a little better now. I feel like also it's a little performative in some cases. You know, like I see curvy models in like a Target ad and I'm like, well, I hope that's, you know, I hope that's being inclusive, you know. But the thing is, those sizes are covered in college because they don't know where you're going to end up working. But all your sketches and all that stuff are obviously, that is the designers, like what they're going to do. They could design whatever they want, but most of the time they are designing things on a very slender model. And the dress form you get in college is a size, it was a size 8. But that size 8 is now a size 6. So, pretty sure. I might be getting that wrong. Vanity sizing hit. Right, Melinda? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Melinda, and I noticed that too. Some folks' ideas of being inclusive are different. I also think that a lot of them struggle with the idea of making a whole new block for a different size range, because it is a different size range. So just like tacking on sizes and grading it up doesn't quite cut the mustard. And that is a really tough pill for them to swallow, because it means a lot more. It means starting over on a garment they've already like signed, sealed, and delivered and been selling. And now they're like, oh man, we have to go to the drawing board on this design. Because some of those design elements may not carry over in certain sizes. No matter what size you go. If you go down really low or up to a larger size, you know, some of the design details change, and you have to accommodate for that. So you can't just grade up and hope for the best. So... They really have in Sydney? I didn't know that. Hi, Adina. Nice. That's nice. Now you're back to actual sewing. Okay, so now I'm going to do the side seam of the pocket. And we're going to do this wrong sides together. Just like you do your regular French seam. This is when the fun begins, but it's actually so straightforward. It's not too big of a deal. So you see right here how I'm having this little bit of fold back here. So you could clip it a little bit, you know, to make sure that this is laying nice and flat. These scissors are so short, I have to be really sharp. I have to be really careful. See, like that one right there. See how it's kind of folding back? If that's going to bug you, then just clip it so that your seam allowance can lay flat right there. You see that? We're going to include it right now. It's not a big deal. Oh, it's so slippery and heavy. It's kind of maddening. All right. So now I'm going to put these wrong sides together. Try and stick to my pretty narrow seam allowance. I go around the pocket. You can kind of be a little looser with that, because remember, the pocket isn't actually included in the size of your garment. And you're probably, even if you go kind of smooth, like close or big, you're going to smooth out this opening and kind of blend in the side seam above and below it. So just do your best, you know, especially if it's your first time doing the pocket. So line this all up. Try and stack your seam allowances right on top of each other. Ironing this would help. Wink. Not very good at winking, but... Okay, try and keep your raw edges lined up too. Alright, so... get this all... I'm getting all my raw edges. Just stack all this up. Can you see that okay? Do you want me to zoom in the camera? Anyone? I can. Ironing would be a good idea. Because it's kind of a thicker fabric. I'm just trying to be pretty specific. All right, so I'm just gonna keep my seam allowance. Yes, I know I'm not including that. I'm not worried about that quite yet, but I would like my seam allowances to be right on top of each other. That's what I am working on right now. They're kind of shifting around a little bit. There we go. All right, and pivot. Hopefully you're not doing it on something this bulky your first time either. It is kind of fighting me a little bit. This fabric has a lot of like really great heft and weight to it. And there's a lot of fabric sitting here. It's pulling off the table. Set it on a chair. Like if you don't have a big sewing table, set stuff on a chair or on your ironing board, you know? Trace! Oh my gosh. All right, you still here, Trace? You just cut that out. Trace was one of my students. I met him when he was in high school. Oh, I'm blushing just because love that kid, you know? He's no kid though. Okay, wait. Oh yeah, I think the sizing on those big 4 patterns is so weird. I think I made one not recently, in the last few years. And it said I was I think a size 16. I was like, okay, I will grant you, I would be a size 16 if it were 1985. And that is fine with me. I actually don't care what number I am. I would much rather we just go by measurements, you know? But I was like, if I'm a 16, where are all the other sizes at? That means there's hardly any sizing here. It didn't go up very high, you know? Right, Ray? We don't want to take you away from your sewing. All right, so here we are. I'm getting to the bottom here. All right. I wonder if I have a picture of Trace here in one of these posters. Oh no, he wasn't one of the poster guys. Okay. I should have told Trace I have all of the posters from the years I worked at the high school. They're right here on my wall. You guys have never seen them, but they're all right there. I always keep them close. That was such an amazing time. I had so much fun with that. I wanted to drop kick a few of them sometimes, but you know, when don't you want to drop kick someone, you know? It was a great time. All right, so I just clipped that a little way. And you can see, look, my seam allowance is not that really narrow. I'm going to show you better when I get it a little bit further down. See, so I came around the curve here, and I went just past this little seam allowance. I didn't have to. I did that instinctually because on our next pass, we're actually going to do that. I should have actually come straight down here. Just stuck to my narrow seam allowance, and maybe I'll fix that because we're going to enclose this on our last seam. So you don't need to do that right now. It will get taken care of. It'll look nice, I promise. So, Walter, nice to see ya. Yeah, right, Sydney? Exactly my point. Yeah, and then the ease is really wonky on them too. The thing is, they're better than they used to be. It snowed. What? It's been cold where Malin is. Malin, I wanted to ask you, you said the other day that it was 0 degrees. Was it 0 Celsius? My husband wanted to know. I mentioned it to him. I'm going to pull this out right here. I'll stick true to my instructions. Snow. Well, because I think Ray and Malin have this. Wait, Ray, was that you saying it was the same temperature where you are as it is where Malin is? feel like I saw you guys saying something about that. This thread matches way too good. You know? Okay. Okay. Let me do that better. I could have made that work. It would have been fine. Down here, I'm not as actually worried about the sizing of the jacket either. But let's just maintain what I'm saying here. I'm a little bit off, but not bad. All right, so now we have this one side seam. I did my little 1/8 inch seam, fat 1/8 of an inch. If I, my ideal seam allowances for front seams would be 5/8 of an inch. My first pass would be like a scant 1/4 inch, and then my second pass would be the scant 3/8. That would easily add up to 5/8 in the end, you know. The scant part is doesn't really happen, you know. No working outside, so that means you have to sew. How are all your FOs going? Your UFOs, your FFOs. Look at all these threads. All right. So here I'm going to do it again, stacking these up. Stack all your raw edges up and down. I like fringe seam pockets, especially being finished, you know. I like the seam to be on the outside of the pocket, not on the inside. But sometimes that's nice too. Oh, that's cool. They have bust sizing, like cup sizing. The itch to stitch patterns have cup sizing. Have any of you made many of her tops and things? He can ski. That's great. I wish we'd get snow in our local mountains here, because that means moisture. You can obviously pin all this too. It would be a little less fussy, huh? I always laugh because it's like, people are always like, whoa, you sew without pins. And I'm like, yeah, but do I make it look easy? Let's be honest right now. Am I making it look easy to sew without pins? The garment is so big and bulky. It's really what I'm fighting with the most. I don't want it to touch the floor. It's all over if it touches the floor. I've never sewn a Love Notions pattern. I can't even think of what they do. Their name, I always think they're a supplies company, you know, like fabric and notions, you know. I don't think of them as patterns off the top of my head. I was tagging someone the other day, probably so over 50, and there are so many people with sew as the first word in their Instagram handle, and I literally thought, why would you do that? There's so many people named with sew, and I was like, I did that. I did it twice. Like, what was I thinking? I love how I forgot my own name. All right, so let's go iron this and trim it. Constellation. Oh, the Wixton Howery is pretty good. Wixton, though, I mean, she did the washi dress, right? Didn't Wixton do the washi dress? Because that's a particular pattern I feel like would be really challenging to fit someone curvy. I have friends that love it, and and every time they make it, they're a little disappointed. And I think it's just because they have curves. So it's cute. It just doesn't have the same look on someone with curves. It looks like a baby doll, you know? I like that look though. So, all right, I'm gonna go to iron. I'm so thirsty. When it's really windy here, it gets so dry. This would be better at my pattern table, but I know that camera isn't hooked up. I just kind of checked it real quick. Good 4 inches. Dang. Walter, we had a power outage this week because of fire danger. It's that dry and warm here. And then my friend sent me, what happened here? Oh, dang, I need to resew that. My friend sent me a screenshot of the farm I lived on in Colorado. They are between, and very closely between, like within a mile, 3 mandatory evacuations. So I had no idea that they were on fire there. Gosh, that's freaking terrifying. Because I know they have like animals, the whole shebang. And that's a lot of people. I don't know where they would even all go. Could be like 100 people there. Ooh, you're steeking a sweater. Meaning you're making a sweater that's steeked, or you're cutting your steek out? Wow. Oh, I love that you frogged 2 projects. That is like, I love that kind of honesty about a project. The success is starting out. Yeah, totally. My side seams are pretty uneven from one another. This one's only 1/2 inch off, the other one's more. That's probably user error. I am the user. Oh, right. So Liberated is the hinterland dress. Yeah. That's like the woven version of the Moneta. That's the way I look at that dress. I saw they were hiring for something and I was tempted. But I didn't really think I had a shot. I've never sewn one of their things. Did I already trim this? See, look at this. When it's on the vise, it doesn't fray. I love steeking too. You're cutting today. Ooh, Walter. That is the magic, man. You got your zipper. That's right. I remember you were waiting for a zipper. I forgot about that. Gosh, that's so awesome. I feel like I have quite a few FFO or non-FFOs around here. I finish a lot of things. I sew a lot of things, but I also create a lot of things too that get started, you know? All right. Let's on this baby. Okay, so I'm kind of missing my ironing board right now. It's sitting right next to me, I think, right? Yeah, I could use it, but the camera wouldn't reach. Oh, frogging. That is the term knitters use when they rip out a project completely or part of it. So, say they want to take out the last 4 inches of knitting and they're pulling it all out. They're ripping it. You get it? Hence the term frogging. Dang, Melinda, that's a lot. Those are all so liberated. You should apply for her job. I haven't sewn one of her patterns, right, you guys? I'm pretty sure I have not. Stratostasia, Estuary, Forager, Hinterland, Arthur Aronite, Lichen Duster. Oh, you have the Lichen Duster. Ooh, Strata. Yeah, I haven't done any of those. That's a lot of her lineup there. Yeah. Knitters have lots of really interesting language. That makes me think of Rebecca. I bet Rebecca's streaming at the museum again today. Okay, so here's your pocket. Oh, look, I got a little too close there. Me and my really close edges. I have another one. Is it this one? It's the other one. Dimensions all the way down. You don't have anything for trying to tailor your husband's jeans so they fit better. Oh, he has the same dimensions all the way down to the last. Oh, that's smart. Yeah, that's smart. Like if he doesn't have a narrower spot for them to sit, I think that is kind of tricky. But elastic does kind of help. As long as he doesn't get it, like step on the cuff of his pants when he's getting up, he might pants himself. That happens to me because of my the drawers in my new house I'm not used to them yet, and they have these really long handles, like this wide, and it's like a silver bar across that sticks out on the ends, past where it's attached to the drawer. That is like my height for my pockets and stuff. And so I often get stuck and I can't move. It's really annoying, honestly. They're so 90s. They look nice. It's just very distinctive. It's a very overpowering attribute to our kitchen. Okay, so now we're just ironing this whole edge here. I gotta fix this little spot right here. But just like you do any side seam, it's just got a pocket dangling out of it, This is just the ironing ASMR stream, and it'll soon be a hemming ASMR. I kind of want this to look a little flatter, so I'm going to open up. Oh, that's the back. Whoops. Here it is. Trying to make room for my iron right here. This will behave better if I press this opening one way. I run out of water in my iron, I can tell. Okay. I'm getting this little tuck here and I'm kind of wondering. Oh, I probably need to clip. That's what it is. Okay, this is important. You need to clip into this little corner. Where you turn the corner of the pocket, you need to clip into that little corner there. Mine's pretty narrow. Don't think, oh yeah, it does exist at the bottom here too. So clip into your little corners because then it'll lay flatter. See, like that little corner right there. That's good, I forgot that. Right here. There's a bug on me. I was wondering where that guy went. Okay. Oh, good, Sydney. I like being background. I can appreciate that. See, now it's not going to do that quite so much. Now that we've clipped that. It's a lot of thickness. But see, look at that. If you put it all where it's going to be. Oh yeah, her lap belt seems good. Yeah, you know you're not missing much either, right? Just a bunch of ironing, trimming. That was a good reminder for me when I do the video that I got to remember to show the clip. When I'm going to be sewing one of those videos and I'm going to be doing it in real fabric, the pressure is harder because I can't just cut out another one. You know what I mean? So when I just do it in sample fabric, I will sometimes make the whole video and then I'll do it again because I always get better on the next one. And I do it again and again and again, you know? Ray, knock that off, Ray. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Ray. Oh my gosh. You're so awesome. Appreciate you, Ray. Okay, here's the other little spot I gotta sew. I thought this was on the bottom part, not on the upper part. I'm really doing a really narrow seam here. 1/2 inch is just not very much. That's okay. Once we do the final one, this will not be an issue for us. We won't have to worry about that. Is it down here too? Oh, that was up there. That's so funny. I was a little turned around when I first saw that. Didn't we iron this? We didn't. I love how I say we. You guys aren't doing anything. There we go. Let's put some water in here though. Is there water in here? Oh, there is. Oh, goody. I can't make you stop? Oh, I don't know. I'll figure out a way. What are you putting your flat felled seams on, Milan? Oh, you're making a cashmere Concord tee? That's awesome, Tanya. I haven't made that one. I was just thinking this morning that I might want to make those Ames jeans soon, though. I haven't made those yet. Oh, let's do this right now. This is on the right side, right? Wait a minute. Did I do this wrong? Did I not do this? Oh, I didn't do this. Wait a minute. 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 Did I get this turned around? This one's correct. Why is this one like this? Oh, this, I was looking at it inside out. Oh my God, the panic was real. Sheesh. I really gotta stop doing that to myself. No. I'm going to put a maximum donation as $1, Ray. That's all will get you to stop. The kitties chose the regular light. Wait a minute. I hope that chose doesn't mean that they marked it as theirs. One of my cats is so cute right now. Like, he's usually kind of scarce and he sleeps on our bed all the time. It's hard to describe him. There's another one. But he's been sleeping on the couch all night when we're not down there. It's almost like he's like, ah, oh, finally, I got the living room to myself, you know? Do they really have this many spots, like, fall off? I'm kind of surprised by that. You know? So I have this one. This one. And I have one on the other side. It's just such a narrow seam. I think I'm not catching all the layers aren't lined up. Alright, I'm almost there though. We're almost going back to the sewing machine. But see, clipping that little corner, look at that. See, it makes it all flat there. So don't despair if it doesn't look like it's going to. Plus, we're going to stitch, like, just past this little area here. So if this is a little messy and bumpy, don't worry about it. I mean, you know, you'll get better and better at it. Okay. Where's the mouse? Okay, just making sure it's over here. Just laying on it. Prosperity indoctrination. Oh, I guess not. I am one of those firm believers that the American dream is the wrong dream to have, because everybody can't be billionaires. There's not enough money in the world for that, right? So I mean, maybe every single person could be a millionaire, but obviously that isn't working out for most people. I am a firm believer in quality of life, that you should have enough for quality of life. If you can splurge a little occasionally, that's awesome. I sound like a communist, but I just don't really believe in, I'm not very comfortable with wealth, I guess. I don't know. I feel like having enough. So wasn't there 2 spots on this one? Having enough is a lot, you know? All right, there were 1 on one side, 2 on the other. So there better be 2 on this side, because here's 1. Okay, this is the one with 2. All right, good. I need to get new rugs. Like I don't know why we didn't really need them in the old. Oh, because the bedrooms were carpeted. That's what it was. Okay. Rugs can be really expensive. That one, and there's my other one. It's above. Here we go. Yeah, see, so the stitching is there, and that one I cut so close anyway, but the I wasn't lined up, so I was probably just off of it. Because I can sew in a straight line, right? All right. Okay, so now we're going to do our final, kind of our final pass. We're going to do the final side seam pass, but then we're also going to create the opening for the hand. Yeah, I think like I get kind of bent out of shape when I hear of certain sums of money being spent in the world or costing. My first thing I say, ask my family what the first, if you said, what would Jeremy say if she heard such and such football team just spent $85 billion on new uniforms? You know, what would Jeremy say? I guarantee they would say, they could have changed the lives of an entire town with that kind of money and lifted all of them out of poverty. Like, that's what I would say. Like, I feel like there's a lot of money being spent in the world, and I understand entertainment is really important, and it's a balm for so many people, right? Especially like gathering around a sports team. I understand that that's really important. I do not think people need $85 billion of anything unless it's, you know, food for people. So I'm about people, not politics. That's my thing. People. All right, so I'm going to come down and I'm going to try and keep my seams of my French seam of my pocket opening stacked one on top of the other, and I'm going to turn the corner. I'm not going to worry about the opening quite yet. I could actually do that right now. Let's do it right now because we're right here. So I'm going to come down to where I think my notch was. Like I said, I'm trying to keep these seams stacked right on top of each other. If you don't get them perfectly on top of each other, what we're about to do is going to kind of hide that. It's kind of hard for me to feel it. Like, it feels like it is, and then it doesn't. It kind of slips off. So I'm going to put my hand in there, get that in there. All right, so I'm just going to go down to where I think that notch was. Like about right here, and I'm gonna back stitch right there. So I'm just inside. So here's the stitch line of when I attached the pocket right here, and then I just went like 1/8 of an inch to the left of that. So now I'm gonna form the pocket, and I'm just gonna start in the seam allowance right here and go finish my side seam going around. Here's where I sewed, so it's not ironed right there. You'll do a little smoother curve if you can try not to stop as you're going around, but I know it's kind of hard. So now we're kind of in the same thing. We need to go up, but we're not going to do that quite yet. We're going to do that after we finish this seam. So I'm going to come around, go just past the seam right here. So I'm going to come around like this, go just past it, pivot and go down. And this pivot should roughly line up to where the seam allowance line was here. It can be a little further in if you're feeling a little bit like, oof, I need to really enclose that. I understand that. But try and, the more you do these, the better it gets. I go about 1/8 of an inch in, pivot. And now we're back on track with our side seam. Now it might look like we're getting things a little bit misaligned from the inside, but I promise you it's going to be all fine. So now we're going to finish. So I think a lot of people forget to do this. I've forgotten to do this. You want to define this opening. You don't want it to be this entire thing because things can fall out of your pocket. So you want wherever that other notch was, you know. So I'm just going to go about right there. And I'm going to smoothen and kind of, you know, blend in with this seam I just sewed. I'll have to do this in a contrast thread for the video. All right, so now let's look at the other side and see how it looks. Here it is. You're looking at it right here. That's it. kind of a small opening. But you see, because we lined up this seam with this seam down here, we didn't really line up this one to this one, but what we did was we got away from these seams here. Those can just be tucked into the pocket. And as long as you don't get this seam drastically different from this one up here, they'll just kind of go in a line because, you know, 2 points make a line, right? So once you press this, it'll be practically invisible. This is a pretty thick fabric too. So, yeah. Yeah, right, Sydney? Exactly. For like a rug, the 1500, yeah. Okay. Let's do our other one now. Oops. I do that sometimes, you know, like I'll accidentally hook my fabric on the needle, and then I'll instinctually lift my presser foot up and it just presses the fabric up the needle more. All right, so we're gonna do the same thing. Start up the top again. I noticed I have a few threads on the other one. So okay, so get everything lined up. I think it's, you know, a really great idea to maybe spend some time, you know, stacking these two seams, you know, like make sure, like I said, if maybe this one here is 1/8 of an inch this way compared to the one underneath it, because you're kind of smoothing out this line with the pocket opening little stitch lines, it's probably fine. What you got to worry about is if you get these a little too off, you might get a little torquing. Your pocket may be a little like rumply, and you might be able to see that through whatever you're sewing. And remember, this garment actually doesn't come with a pocket, so we are trying to keep this jacket looking as sleek as it does, you know. So I'm going to come down to where I think that notch was. And then I'm going to start up again. I got my presser foot got pushed away from this seam pretty badly that time. And then I start at the seam line of this pocket opening. That's all you really need to do. That's enough. You don't need to go all the way to the seam line you just sewed. You just need to go to that seam, and you'll be enclosing this raw edge. And if you doubt that, you know, look on the other side and see where you think you need it. It'll reassure you. I know that'll be enough. I knew this felt funny right there. It looks really funny. My machine sounds funny right now. Like I'm about to run out of bobbin. I guess conceivably I could. There was a lot of stitching already. Really though? Would I really run out of bobbin right now? I don't know. Alright, so here we are again. Get all these layers flat. Now when you're coming up onto this other side, you gotta be careful your presser foot doesn't get hooked on that seam allowance. I kind of went far up, but it's not gonna matter because we add that stitch for the hand opening. Don't fall off the back, please. What time is it? Dang, it's already 1. I better pick things up, huh? I better pick things up because I'm a little nervous about that sleeve, you know? Alright. Oh, glee dokily. Let's look at this one now. I mean, look at that. You can't even see it, you know? Once it's pressed, especially. Why are these why do they make these so small? They're a little small. I mean, they're fine, but they could be a little bigger. All right, so now let's Let's make sure I don't have any French seams on the right side. Could try it on. Let's see. Oh, I'm hooked to a bobbin thread in my drawer. No, I don't want to be hooked to a bobbin thread. All right, well, it's feeling pretty good. It is long, baby. My pocket openings are a little small, but the armhole feels pretty good. Ooh, this dress is so unflattering. All right. Hey, Nancy. How's it going? I kind of wish I could serge the sleeves on right now. You know? It'd be faster. And I am feeling a little bit like we have a lot of hemming to do. Like a mile of it. All right, so let's do our sleeves. This is the other video I want to do, is a French seaming. I did not do that, right? I just did a regular set-in sleeve. I didn't do the French seam, yeah. So I want to do that too someday. Okay, so let's see. This is the back, and that's the front. That's the back. Okay. Here we go. All right, so this one goes like this. I sometimes don't want to get confused. I just don't want to worry about it. So if that one's like that, because I picked it up like that, then this one's like this, right? Yep, like that. Okay. And now I'm going to do French seams for this as well. What are you up to, Nancy? Happy Saturday. I'm going to go a little faster right now. Let's have a bit of sewing to do. These aren't lining up. We'll fix that later. When we even up all of our hems. I don't have enough serger thread though, Ray. I would have actually serged this garment, I think, even though I think a nicer finish would be French seams, but I don't have thread this color, like, by a long shot. I have a dark chocolate brown, and that's about as close as I can get. I just don't think that would look very good, you know? All right, so we iron that one. I'm going to keep starting from the top so that if it's off, it's the same on both. This one's probably pretty easy to figure out here. Oh, nice. That's nice, Nancy. I gave myself permission after stream today to work on this little quilt swap I signed up for, called the White Elephant Quilt Swap. I'm not sure what possessed me to do that, honestly, but I don't know. I like to do things occasionally right now that are out of what I normally do, you know? I don't know why. I kind of think I made it a little harder on myself than I needed to, but I like the idea. I'm making like an anytime advent calendar, so it's going to have like a pockets to count down to something for 5 days, you know? Those notches don't match because I just threw them on there when I cut this out, so I would remember the back for the back. So it's going to have like 5 pockets, like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you could use it for your kid's birthday, for maybe someone's getting an award and there's a speech that day. I don't know. I thought it'd be kind of fun, you know? All right, so let's iron these and trim them. Black. Oh, well, I was looking for the serger thread. He likes both rugs. You're going to make cookies? Nice. That sounds kind of like a good thing. Right, Ray? Yeah, exactly. He did give the best answer. You know, Nancy, I kind of feel like I'm in a group of hardcore quilters. I was like, oh, this looks kind of fun. You know, the parameters seemed pretty, like, simple. Basically, it has to be a square in a size range that's, like, not very big. And it has to be completely finished, like quilted and bound. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's no problem. I got this. But then after I signed up, I started seeing all this chatter from the organizers and others. Now, don't be intimidated by all these veteran quilters. And I was like, why would we be intimidated? And then I saw it so often, I was like, wait a minute, who is in this swap? And I did start seeing some really intense designs. Like if you look at the hashtag, you could just, if you want to just like stalk the hashtag a little, it's the White Elephant Quilt Swap 2020. I was like, dang, who are these mutants? No, I'm just kidding. Melinda's one of those mutants. Melinda's amazing. You know, it's like first time quilter, long time fan. I don't know why I signed up. But I did put my duvet, my jelly roll duvet, the one I finished, on the bed this morning, and it actually looks really good and it fit. So that's a win. That's what I probably should finish today, is that. But I kind of want to make headway on the quilt swap just to make sure I don't fall behind. Getting done early is always better, right? You never know what life holds. I don't think anyone's too judgy. Maybe they are. I think it was more like people are like, oh, wait, these people are doing really complicated things, you know, and I'm doing something kind of simple. And they're like, that's okay. Do something simple. That's totally fine, is kind of their point. You just can't expect to get one of those, you know, 150 piece quilts if you're going to do a 9-patch. I don't know what a 9-patch is, but I think I got the idea of what a 9-patch is once they said it that way. I was like, oh, okay. We got the salami out. Can I just do this without the salami, you think? I probably can. Let's see. Oh no, don't tell me that. I kind of, you know, Melinda, I started looking at it like a challenge for me, not like for just in general, because I started thinking, oh, what if I made it with doors, you know, and you open the door and there's something in there, right? Like an advent calendar, right? And I was like, okay, I could use my bin pattern to do that. And I thought this is kind of fun. But then I started realizing like I'd have to sew a little box, like a miniature bin behind each opening. And I was like, oh, I could do it. It's possible. Do I really want to go to all this trouble, you know, for my first one? We'll see. I think I need to be kind to myself. So I kind of made it, so far the design is, it has that option if I want. So maybe I'll just do that on the, why is this so wavy right here? Maybe I'll just do that on the big box, the countdown, the end of the countdown. And rainbow is definitely involved. Yeah, Nancy, right? I know. I feel like that is such a nice, the crinkle is pretty good. I like looking at some of the little cat quilts I make and trying to figure out what it is I like about some more than others, because I just use scrap fabric. And sometimes I notice that I'm looking for a certain one, and I feel like, I tell myself, God, they're made from all the same scraps. Why do you like that one more? I think that's kind of an interesting exercise, like seeing how the color works, because I'm not very good at that part yet. Picking colors and fabrics out for quilts is really hard. I don't actually enjoy it. There's very few things I can say I don't enjoy about sewing. I don't enjoy picking out fabrics for quilts. And I know that is a sign of being a beginner. It's kind of like when you're making, for me, when I was making garments, I hated cutting things out. I hated the picking the fabric out and the cutting out, and now I love it. And I think it's just because oh, what if I don't pick the right stuff? Ben! So good to say it twice. I need to figure out how to let the people know that originally bought the bin that they need to check their spam folder for the email newsletter that I sent, giving it to them for free again so they repurchase it. You know? I can see 40 people redeemed it. Or no, I mean not 40 people redeemed it. I can see 40 people have not redeemed it. So I want them to redeem it. Are you, oh yeah, you're, okay. See, look at all, she's doing quilting tests, you guys. I can't even think that far ahead. When I was looking at I wrote down the rules recently. I was like, it's funny, she sent the email newsletter saying, thanks for being in the quilt swap or whatever. Make sure you do this thing, whatever it was, like post your plan. And then she sent one like, oh, these are all the swappers. And I was like, great. I'm like, but she never emailed us the rules. I have to go to her site to look for them every time. Oh, cool, Ray. Okay, good. Yeah, you need to open that email. Yeah, so Walter, I had this whole fiasco. Oh, good. Well, that's good. A few of you need to do that. Okay. Yeah, so I had this fiasco. I updated the bin pattern recently so that you can now make a lid for it. And I simplified the clear front instructions and sketches. So you don't have to have the updated pattern, right? Nothing was wrong with the pattern. Here's the deal though. There is a weird glitch with the app that Shopify has me use to sell something with a PDF download, right? Even they weren't aware of this until I went through this and they were like, okay, you found the one weird glitch. So because recently I updated the pattern, and at the same time I updated the pattern, I added videos to go with it. So in the bin product listing on my website, there's the bin pattern. And now there are bundles, right? There's the 2 bundles with the pattern without and all the videos. And then there's each individual video. Because I added what they call variants, meaning I added other products for sale under that bin title, it disconnected the PDF download email thingy to all the people who purchased it. So here's the deal. You may not want this update. It doesn't matter. That doesn't, like, I understand that. But if I do another update in the future to fix a mistake I don't know about right now, you will not get notified. You have to be in the system. And right now, like, so when I did that update, it didn't let me do that. It didn't let me email everybody, because usually it does. If there's an update, it'll say, oh, hey, do you want to notify all the people who bought this that there's an update? And you say yes, right? And it didn't give me that dialog box. And nothing any of us could do could get us I could get it on anything else I put on there, but that, the thing I needed. So the only thing I could find, like, I could have emailed the updated pattern to each of you. That would have been really easy. But still, it makes it so that if I ever update the pattern again, you still would not get an automatic update. So I basically had to reset everybody who'd bought it. That's a major pain in the butt. Last Friday was a major pain in the butt for me. So, and like, you know, the Shopify help chat was really good. And then they emailed me and they, you know, I was like, look, you guys, this was a major pain. And they were like, oh, well, in the future, this is how you would have emailed just those people inside of Shopify. Because I tried that too. And I couldn't get it to only pull the people who'd bought that pattern. The whole day, I was just like, I never wanted to see a bin again. So, yeah. So then what I did was I sent out 2 newsletters that day. The first one was to all the people who bought it. And I said, hi, this whole crazy fiasco thing happened. I'm really, really sorry to inconvenience you. Here's a code to buy it for free. So you have to re-buy it, but I give you a code to buy it for free. And then you're back on track. Then you're in the system and you have it and everything. So. Oh yeah, Allison, that's a really great trick. It's a little wavy. I'm hoping like iron that and I probably stretch this a little. Look at that. Do you see that? Not good. Yeah, so anyway, that was my Friday. That was like most of my week, but Friday for sure. When I figured it all out and I was about to launch it, I was like, what? Oh, man. I remember when I saw my friends that night, like, didn't see them, but saw them. They were like, how was your day, Sarah? I was like, wow, don't want to talk about it this time. And they were like, wow, you don't usually say that. I was like, yeah. Okay, so now we're going to do our sleeve. So in all transparency's sake, I really drastically changed these pattern pieces because we were accommodating the woven thing. I did not ever walk my sleeve to see what the difference was between the armholes, so I'm going to check that right now. I'm kind of hoping it's a little big so I have some ease, so it'll fit better. The armhole looks a little small. The sleeve looks a little big. So let's see how much bigger it is. Let's do a very unscientific walking here. Oh, yeah, that's kind of a lot. We might have some issues getting this puppy in there. Let's see. I thought I only added an inch and I thought I only added an inch. Let's check it a little closer so I can kind of come up with a strategy. I don't mind doing a French seam with my sleeve, even if I have to ease it in. I just want to know, am I going to be in pain or not? It looks like it might be. Whew, yeah, that's probably a little too much. I'm going to just move this transition out right here too. I don't have my big scissors here. I don't know why I didn't get this very lined up. If it's too big, you could, you know, shave it a little bit here. Gets a little dicey though, but I just love set-in sleeves. Exactly. Let's, oh, this is wrong side out. Oh, wait, is this the front and this is the back? Okay. And this is the front. Is this the back? I think this is the front. Okay, so it's this one here. All right, let me trim this one too. I knew it, yeah. Oh, it's not quite as off here. I don't want to lose my back tack, and I might have. This is the front. These little tiny scissors for this. At least they're sharp, right? And, well, there's one notch here and one notch there. Yeah, I'm kind of doubting that. One notch there. So the back was the one that came up higher. Yeah, so this is the back. Am I right? I'm like, which way am I going to push this? I'm going to do it that way. Let me look at the pattern pieces. I can tell the back, as long as she has the notches on her pattern pieces. Yeah, so I can look at this pattern piece here and know that the, oh, you can't see that. That little sleeve piece, because it has the taller spot, that's the back. Double checking. Let's see how far we need to go. I don't really want it to be a slog today. How much is too much? Anything over 1.5 inches, I struggle with. 1.5 inches is about the max that you really want to do. It's crazy because I was actually really fighting to add some ease in here. So I probably didn't take something into consideration that day. Or maybe that last little second adding a little bit more added a little too much. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a struggle. I think I might, let's try on the sleeve. Oh, that feels pretty good. I mean, it's going to be, wait, is this the, yeah, that's the back. Okay. I was making sure. It's just such an odd shape. Yeah, I think I can actually trim a little bit off the cap, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to trim a little bit off. Don't try this at home. This is, I have to admit, this is a little bit like, you know. Let me get my bigger scissors. I'm flirting a little bit too much with that, with the. You don't do that exactly. I was eyeballing too much, Elizabeth, because I can kind of feel like when I put the sleeve in there and I kind of curve my fingers around like this into the armhole, I can usually feel how much is left over. You know, like it just is. I've just set in a lot of sleeves and I can kind of feel it, you know. So I'm gonna put this on the fold. We are monkeying. This sleeve was a pretty narrow, so I was trying to add some, you know, cross here. and add a little bit so that it was going to fit as a woven because it's meant for knit. So I mean, if I can do that, if you can do it, Ray, why can't I? You make it sound like it's a good thing. This does seem a little bit steep, but we looked at my sleeve. You know, we looked at my sleeve, so that's kind of where I went by. I'm just going to take it down. I'm going to put this notch a little bit deeper. I don't really need that. I don't even know if that's a notch, to be honest. I'm going to trim it down 1/4 inch. It's a very even 1/4 inch. It's just, don't look. Don't look. Ooh, this is the worst cutting. This is why I like my other little scissors a little better. This is the back here. Let's check it out. This is the back here. All right. So I don't want there to be any down here at the bottom. I really just want it all up at the cap. So yeah, I just kind of do this, Elizabeth, and kind of go like this. And I can kind of see like that's quite a bit right here to be flopping around. I think this is doable though. This fabric is pretty forgiving. It also is probably been getting a little bit stretched out. But see, that's a lot. The armhole is so narrow. Makes me a little nervous. I'll try it. What's the worst that can happen, right? All right, I'm going to trim this one down a little bit. I felt pretty good about the changes we did. We had some guides, and I thought it actually looked pretty good. Okay. I'm gonna put my back stitch back here so I don't lose it. All right, I'm gonna put my gathering stitch in. Oof, I'm gonna put it all the way down here. I may be cheating a little bit on this one. Put it right on that seam line or just to the right of it. I actually don't know which way to press the seams on this. I'm pretty sure it goes towards the sleeve. I have to think about that. My Halloween episode, exactly. Boop. No, I'm not. It's fine. It'll be fine, you guys. That's funny because the cutting stream, I was actually pretty nervous for this one because when I saw that it was supposed to be a knit, I sewed one in the Swedish tracing paper really quick, and I quickly determined like, oh yeah, this is not gonna work in a woven without a lot of changes. And so I was actually pretty nervous for that stream because I was kind of like, oof, how much is too much? Oh yeah, we could just do a gathering stitch, exactly. And then that went really good. I was like, okay, this felt pretty good, you know. It was a gamble, it's an experiment. Hearts was like, oh God, just do your best, sorry about that, you know, and they're like, it'll be fine, you know, they're always cheerleaders for whatever we do here. But I also, you know, there may be that one person that's like, oh my gosh, I bought this pattern and I bought woven thinking that's what it was for. Because it does actually look in the picture Like, it'd be really easy to assume that it's not a knit, you know? I did. I actually did. I didn't know it was for a knit until Hearts told me that. And so I could see someone going, oh my gosh, has anyone ever done this before? And finding my video and then being like, great, I'm going to do everything she does. I was a little nervous about that, you know? It is very autumnal. I love that you guys have all been like doing whatever you're doing, you know, making cookies, doing your flat fell seams, binding quilts. And now that everything's about to hit the fan, you're like, finally, the stream just got good. All right, so I'm going to put, look at all that in there. This is what I would normally probably put in here, right? Let's just see. I don't know if this is the right one, but let's just see if this would work. So like if this is meant for knit, there's not going to be any ease in here. And I never measured the sleeve. I assumed there wasn't any ease in the sleeve pattern because it wasn't for knit. Maybe there was. But it was a really pretty narrow armhole. I couldn't get it on. Oh yeah, the joke's going to be on you guys. I'm going to get this. It's going to be fine. It's going to be tough, but I can do it. Look at that. You guys are hoping I fail. I know it. Okay, so let's... What do I usually... I like usually pulling the thread from the wrong side, right? That way I can easily pull it out later on. You guys are all busted. What do I get if I get it? Spell right. Yeah, I mean, that really illustrated it, didn't it, Ray? Of like how, like I couldn't even get it on. I tried it. I would have ripped it. So that's why I knew. I was like, ooh. I mean, I couldn't even get it on my dress form, and my dress form didn't have arms. Arms are such a drag when you're trying to fit things sometimes. When I do this little gathering stitch on sleeves, I actually don't make the sleeve, the stitch length any longer, or I just don't make it much longer. Okay, this is a lot of gathers, but maybe this is going to be one of those that would need the, what are those, the sleeve head? Is that what that's called, sleeve head? You know, where they put that in tailored coats to make it go like this. All right. Okay, so this is the back. This is the back. Okay, so this is this one over here. Where's our shoulder notch? Doing it wrong sides together. Where's the shoulder notch? Oh, I trimmed it off, didn't I? Yeah, I did. You know I did. This is the front, this is the back. Okay. Put this lowest point right here. Got the pins out. If I could have done this early on, I probably would have, because it would be a lot less to manage on the table, you know? I just feel for the people that needed a knits instruction. Why do I feel for them? It's free. If you're watching this and you're in the future and you were like, oh, please let someone have sewn this and woven, please at least give me $1, okay? If I pull this off. And I helped you. Okay, so let's see here. It's a lot of gathers, but we've got it in there right now. That's the back. Okay, we're pushing the shoulder seam to the back. So now the trick with your gathers is that you want to ruffle that edge, but you don't want you don't want gathers like that along this sewing. So this is okay. You don't want it on the seam line there. All right, so I'm gonna sew it first at like a fat 1/4 inch. Let's hope I do better about that this time, getting these raw edges. I need some space. And here I've been dreading the hemming. Dang, I had it all wrong. I'm going to sew right through these gathers, but just make sure the ones on that stitch line, there's no gathers on there. But it's okay if you need to rumple these down, you know, that's okay. This is actually, when it's this hard, a French seam, it makes it a little easier because now you've set the seam and it'll be easier later to finish it. Oh, Penny went on a jog. What a good person. I'm trying to be more consistent with my jogging lately. You're here for the drama. My sleeves are like, they're going to take a lot of, they're going to be an effort. My gathers are sliding so easily on here and I don't want them to really. You still want all those gathers on the cap. I know I would really like to cheat and put some down low, but you don't need it there. It would look weird too. So try and get it on there without the gathers on the seam line. It's okay in the seam allowance. Don't set that limit. Yeah, I don't think I could set it for just you. All right. So let's do the other one. I am lost. Here it is. I got my serious face on. I did trim my cap a little bit, Penny. Kind of a big no-no, but that was pretty much my only option. And I trimmed my notches right off, so kind of flying blind. So I'm putting my lowest point of the underarm at the side seam because that's what it should be. The sleeve pattern never really looked like that's how it was. It did look a little bit iffy about that, but that's all I got now, you know. It was a lot bigger, Penny. It was a solid like 2 inches. Even that's out of my comfort zone. 1.5 inches is about the max, and I usually, when I draft a sleeve, I put 1.25 inches in because I feel like that's pretty manageable for someone to ease in. Not that I'm drafting patterns in the garment industry anymore, but that's what I would do. And so to figure out where the top of my, like the peak of my cap is, I'm going to try and put all these gathers up there kind of evenly. And then I kind of do this, you know. That's where I figure it out. Well, I'm so glad my husband gave me a pot pie for lunch. Kirby! Where you been, Kirby? How's it going? I think you guys are betting on me right now. You've already called this the Halloween special and a horror movie in progress, so you guys owe me. I don't know. I think you guys don't have faith. How could you not have faith in me? And where else would you go for Halloween entertainment? Come on. This is like your pumpkin spice Madison cardigan. It's literally the pumpkin spice Madison cardigan. It doesn't get better than that, you know? This one feels like there's less. I don't really want to talk about it. What the heck? I just found a machine needle in there. Oh, I think I remember I dropped a machine needle once when I was getting it out of the... I have all the needles are usually over there. And I couldn't find it, and it must have fallen in my pin dish. Nice. What, would you just retract, Ray? Never bet against me. That's what I do, all the betting against me. I need you guys to support. All right, wait, where's the bottom? Here we go. All right, so I am wrong sides together, correct? Yes. Because that I would have kind of cried if I wasn't. A suspense flick. Yep. I liked the spell binding comment Nancy made. That sounded so elegant. I literally just could not even do the whole, like, what could I do to make my chat simply enthralled today? This stuff doesn't write itself, you know? Dad, thank you, Tanya. Yeah, that was a big old fat oopsie, wasn't it? Did I just run out of bobbin thread? Not today. We're not running out of bobbin thread. No way, man. You hit. Oh, that's funny. Is it that easy to do that? I didn't even know that. It's so provocative when you see someone deleted it. Nancy! Now you're just taking pity on me. Thank you. You guys have been so generous today. I think I've had 2 new Patreon patrons. 2 donations. Thank you. Advanced payment. Yeah, you have faith in me. Thank you. All right, we're going to trim this now. Oh, there's the sound. There's a lag on my screen. All right, I'm home stretch. Home stretch, right, guys? I can do this. And then the big thing will be, you know, does it fit? It's not lined, thank goodness. How could you think I'm a sewing goddess for serging a hole down the middle of my dress? Oh, you like the little alert, Kirby? You should see when it's Pusheen flying through the donut. It's pretty cute. That's when there's a Patreon. Oh, I actually might be able to replay someone's alert. Let's see if we can replay Trace's alert. Oh, wait. I haven't been able to get alerts to replay lately, though. Let's see. Oh, it doesn't show Trace's on there. Huh. Yeah, so I could replay Nancy's. Where's Trace's? Oh. I don't see Penny's on there either. Weird. It's pretty cute. Pusheen is, you know, that little gray cat is flying in the air in a donut. A rainbow donut or something like that. Yes, my floor is a mess. No one has the guts to teach you. I don't know why they wouldn't. Oh, I think I've seen that, Walter. There is a knitting thing for everything. All right, this is my gather thread, and I don't want to trim it. How did it end up on this side? Isn't it my trim? It is my gathering thread. Dang it! I want that gathering thread. I don't want to accidentally cut it off because I want to pull it out later. There we go. You don't have to do that. It's just my thing, and I actually do think it helps relax the gathers in there. It's also super satisfying. Pusheen, it's spelled P-U-S-H-E-E-N. So the word push, or the word like a P-U in front of sheen. It's this, I had friends really into that cat, and I don't know where it's from. I feel like it's from Facebook or something weird like that. No idea about it. I just know that's the name of it. Because my friends kept saying that word, and I was like, what word are you guys saying? Ooh, Sydney's back. How are the cookies? Here for the drama. We got some drama going on. My sleeve was really big, Sydney, but I trimmed a little bit, about 1/4 of an inch off the cap, kind of tapered it into the armhole, into this part where I'm at right now. I've already sewn it once, and now I'm on the last part. Yeah, I think he's a Japanese character, but where did he, like, what did he come from? Someone said, oh, he's from Facebook once to me, and I was like, what? Cookies are cooking. Oof, look at all that. Ooh. A little nervous, a little nervous. So much pumpkin spice. Cricket brought home pumpkin gelato from her work the other day. I've been chipping away at that stuff. It's so good. She says she's been like telling everybody who orders that's her favorite. She's like, I've gotten so many people to get it. I'm like, are they telling you to do that? She goes, no, I just love it. Okay. Oh, maybe that's what it is. All right, good night, Malin. Nice seeing you. Have a good weekend. Yeah. Okay, Melinda. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I learned about Pusheen from the pumpkins, Kirby. Because one of them wanted a stuffed Pusheen, and I was like, what is that? You know? Oh, wait, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Leave that in there. Leave that in there, because now I'm going to iron it on the... Today's stream brought to you by my iron. Okay, I have hope. There's gathers there, but, you know, there's my seam line right there. Oh, you did. Okay. Flying Pop-Tart cat. Yeah. Oh, Irish for kids. Is it really? Oh, the pumpkins meaning these two gals that run this cross stitch company called Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. They're local to me. We used to hang out a lot. Yeah, and exactly what Kirby said. That's very on brand for them. They love anything with eyeballs. Anything kawaii. I learned that from them. I learned a lot from them in that vein. But I have not talked to them in a long time. I'm sure they are still busy doing their thing very well. Yeah, they're what is this? I think my seam allowance is poking out there. Yeah, their business is called the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. So all of us call them the pumpkins. I'm sure they know that. I think they call themselves the pumpkins. All right, where's my other one? I am ready to make this happen. Okay. Let's iron this one. Nothing like a success story for a sleeve, right? And a live streamer. Are you? Oh, you are, Sydney? You're only 5 months behind. I've done, I think did one of theirs. I did tea time of theirs. And I gave it to a friend. It's the only one I've ever done, but, you know, this seam allowance is poking the wrong way. Dang. That bums me out. The shoulder seam. I wish I wouldn't have done that too. It's a little... Shoot. I said done that meaning the shiny. Like I was a little over ironing that, so it got a little shiny. You can use a press cloth if you have a fabric that does that, you know. Just put something... Then a press cloth is basically just a fabric that goes between your iron and the garment that you can iron, you know. Like a tea towel or something. Yeah, I think they do too. I'm not a hand sewer, but I gave it my all doing some of their things. I've done like a Halloween one and I did a Christmas one, like the little tiny ones. And those were my days and that was done. I am done now with cross stitching. I do have a couple that I never did, I think. I bought a bunch to support them, you know, because that's what you do. Where's my mouse? Oh my gosh. Oh, there's like steam over here. My mouse wasn't working. Yeah, a towel would work. Just anything that will protect the fabric that you can iron with high heat, you know. Okay, this... Oh, I didn't do it on the edge. Gosh darn it. I do want that. Because I am not failing today. You guys all taking your bets on me. Okay. Oh, so hard to get the sleeve in there. I'm gonna do this. Whoop. There we go. I sure hope this works. I actually am not worried about the all these gathers. I really want this sleeve to fit pretty good and not look weird. I didn't get to, like, you know, do a bunch of samples and test it. And so to just do it kind of blind like this is pretty gutsy, you know? I'm not trying to compliment myself. It's kind of foolhardy too. It's kind of reckless. But this was my plan this week to sew this, and this was on the schedule, and I just wanted to follow through, you know? So I'm really hoping that the changes we did on this wearable muslin work. What gave me confidence is knowing that it's not for anybody specific. All right, now we're ready. Yeah, that one person betting against me is going to make out, right? Yeah, that's the same press mat I've been using since the beginning. If I fail to return your payment, okay, I promise, Nancy. Okay, wait. Here it is. Okay. This is it. Okay, just making sure that's the side seam. My mom just texted me and she said, "Sorry, I saw your live online." Are you watching, Mom? This is am I on the sleeve side? Oh, yeah. It's kind of disorienting because there's no underarm seam on the sleeve. Okay, here we go. French seam with sleeve. So because we already pre-sewed that little spot, it kind of stabilizes the whole sleeve for the rest of the sewing. So it may have felt really awkward to sew through all those gathers, but now it's fixed and you don't really have to fiddle with much. My only thing right now I'm struggling with is that these gathers are really sliding along this gather stitch. They don't usually do that, and I think it's because they're getting hung up on these seams right here. It's kind of tight right there. So it almost feels like I can pull out some of the gathers right now. So try and go, you know, right on your seam line, just to the left of your gathering stitch, if that's where it was at. Garment is so heavy. All right, here we're back at the beginning. Piece of cake. I actually think I didn't even need to remove all of that. Okay, now I'm gonna take out the gathering stitch because I love doing that. Now we need a guest villain. Oh. All right, let's see. Eat it, shrimps. That's a line from a video game. Yeah. This is fabric thread, not thread. Not bad. Look at that. Actually looks better than some others I've done. Okay. Oh, really? You're getting targeted ads for that? God, I've had that thing for more than a couple of years. This one's made in Oregon. A little buzz. Okay, let's do the other one. And the side seam is here. targeted ads. I think she's been getting targeted ads. This one's made in Oregon. I don't know, like, the brand. Ooh, I think I just did a little wobble. I actually like, it feels very mom and pop-ish. I think because there's a lot of spelling typos on the packaging, you know? There's even like hay in that wool mat. It reminds me of getting very farmy yarn, which I really like farmy yarn. Okay, so where's my gathering stitch? Is this the one that's on the, this is the one on the outside, huh? Here it is, yep. It gets kind of hung up on that seam. I want to pull it all out though. I don't want it to break. Like I said, you don't have to remove the gathering stitch. I just like to. There we go. All right, moment of truth. This is the part I'm nervous about. Can I get it on? Oh yeah, no problem. Oh yeah, how's it look? Ooh, a little bit baggy, huh? Might be able to steam that out though. Ooh, maybe. We'll see. Okay. Okay, so now we're at the hemming. Last step. I'll also press those armhole sleeves. Try and get them to relax a little bit. The French seam probably stretched it out. They might. Does Target have a craft section? Oh, craft section. Yeah. Okay. Let me see. I know we have some uneven bits in our hem. This is the neckline. So let's look at the hem. And I'm going to switch my, well, God, my thread matches so good. Do I really want to switch? All right, so I'm going to press that seam that way. So wait, that seam matched. Is it just my side back and, oh yeah, here we go. My little tiny scissors. Oh man. Let's try one of these. These are a little bigger. They just don't cut very straight. When the blades are so small, it doesn't cut very straight. This is not bad that this is the only thing I got kind of uneven, because we cut the medium length and a different size for the rest of it. Ooh, this one's way off. Okay. It's falling off the table. Well, look at how far, my other side seam wasn't off. I probably stretched it. I want that to go in. Look at that. Do you see that it's turned back there? So we'll press it this way and then we'll enclose that. All right. Let's check our bobbin. Thought I'd forget, didn't you? Oh, look at all that. I'm going for it. I'm going to do the neckline first. Do I want to do the neckline first? I want to do the bottom first. I kind of want to get my hemming legs under me before I do the neckline, which is more prominent. So her instructions for this say a 1/2 inch narrow hem. I'm not sure exactly what that means. Narrow hem to me means a rolled narrow hem like this. You know, turn, turn. So I think it's quarter, quarter, and that would be your 1/2 inch. I don't think it's a 1/2 inch turned hem because that's not narrow, you know? So. Yeah, I hope so, right? I mean, I think that they're a little stretched out from the French seaming. But I think steam is going to help the armholes fit a lot better. And for the fact that we didn't, this was supposed to be a knit, not bad. Right? Okay, so I don't really want to get any torquing. So I'm going to do my best on this really long. You could pre-iron this if you want. You could bind it. If you bind your hem, my only caution would be that you don't want to, you want to make sure your binding is pre-washed. If your fabric was pre-washed, you want to make sure it's pre-washed anyway. And don't stretch your binding as you put it on because you don't want the hem to pull in. I would also pick a binding that can be really flat and thin because then you won't really hinder the ruffling. This is actually pretty easy. Surprised. There's a lot of bias, which helps. Do you guys have a hemming foot? And how does it work on curves? Does it work okay for curves? Or is it kind of a struggle? I would imagine it would be hard on a curve. Let's see if I can finesse this in here. I'm going to trim this a little bit. You guys are all bummed that that didn't fail, aren't you? Okay. These seams are a little thick. Oh, so actually, I want to kind of revise what I said about her instructions for a narrow hem. So that is how I interpreted 1/2 inch narrow hem. But the thing is, this was intended for knits. So you wouldn't do a rolled hem on knits. I have seen it before, but you just wouldn't do that. So I'm not sure if she just means like turn it 1/2 inch. So I think you should just do what you want, but you should try it on and see the length. No, I don't have a foot, Kirby. I don't have any feet for my machine. This is the side back, right? Okay. I'm just winging it. Wait. This is the side seam. This is a side back. Okay, this goes this way. Shoot. Good thing it's rolled. I'm pushing my side back seams towards the center back. Oh boy. Well, the hemming so far is the easiest part of this whole garment. I'm just teasing. I am not a sewing goddess. This fabric, you guys, is super flexible though. Like I've said, it's got a lot of malleability to it. It's a little bit stretchy. Look at how much I'm pulling it right now. And so when I pull it, like if I just started sewing right now, it'd be kind of a mess, right? But if I pull it, it kind of cinches it up. Now, I think that there are, you know, you could do a nicer hem, maybe. This is going pretty good, so, you know, maybe I wouldn't feel like I could do better. There's a little bit of torquing right here, and that didn't show up while I was sewing. That's probably because of that curve, but we can press that out. So if you're having a lot of trouble with this, what I would do is stitch where you, just inside of where you want it to fold right there. And kind of like how I did on the sleeve cap, pull that thread. You might have to chunk it up because having one thread for this entire long hem, it's going to break. And then just draw it up a tiny bit. Even if you don't draw it up, having that stitch line, it will naturally want to fold there. It's almost like a dotted line. Like the garment's like, oh, I fold on the dotted line, you know? It's kind of, you're giving it that kind of direction. If this hadn't gone well, I would have just stopped and done a different method, you know. But this is going pretty good. The thicknesses are my only trouble spots. This isn't, you know, velvet, thankfully, or something like that, you know. I kind of shove my, I don't know all the things I do with my hands when I do this. You guys always marvel at this, but I really do just handle the fabric. I don't know. Turn it a little bit so it could be nicer. Yeah, I wonder if a curve would work. Well, remember when Sydney hadn't hemmed her Tanya culottes? Yeah, I haven't forgotten that, Sydney. And then she was like, oh, it wasn't that bad. That's literally a story of my life. I'd be like, oh, this thing only needs one more step. And then it sits in a pile. And then when I go and do it, I'm like, oh my gosh, that took me no time at all. Why didn't I do it sooner? Now I'm on this front edge, so I'm trying to not pull it at all, but it's pretty easy, you know, all this bias, this fabric is really great. I'm trying to think what fabric would be harder to do if you were doing a woven on a hem like this. Even a quilting cotton has a lot of bounce to it. Maybe a silk. A silk could be really hard. I think a silk would be really hard. I don't really like sewing with silk. Silk is one of those weird things that it feels so, we think of it as so dainty and delicate, but it is really tough. Like, it's literally a really tough fiber. It's kind of a struggle to sew. I break needles every time I sew it. Yeah, it's a lot to unpick afterward. You couldn't pull your thread. Yeah, don't use pins. Just don't do it. Yeah, just don't use them. Try it without. I find pins get in my way. Unless I'm having trouble like holding it into the spot like that, doing that sleeve, you know, but for the most part. Okay, so I think you could do a really nice decorative little juncture here. So like I just did this like I do my binding. So I turn back this little corner, you know, 90 degrees. My only problem with this right now is that I may end up doing wider than the hem allowance when I do this because I may just not be that accurate with this kind of a open weave fabric. My nail's about to fall off, so just ignore it. So I turn it like 90 degrees and then I turn it again on that fold, not perfectly on that fold, just beyond it. Hi Marcia or Marcia, thanks for subscribing. And then I keep turning it like that, you know, so if I have a little bit bigger of a bite, it does it a little bit easier. I'm really good with it on bias because the bias is so stretchy and narrow. But my other issue with doing things like this is sometimes when I do this little, like, nice little miter-esque type of finish right there, I'll end up not doing a very good job of it, and I stretch this out and I get a little point like that. So I'm not gonna do that on here. I think if you're got a more delicate hand than I do, it's worth a try. I'm just gonna do this kind of squared off. I'm gonna get rid of this thread though, it's bugging me. It's a back stitch. I shouldn't have back stitched there. But see, I don't like that these little threads right here, see that? They are going to show in there. So I will turn that down. Can I turn that back? Not really. It still kind of does that. See, I just don't like that little corner doing that. It's a big time pet peeve. I'm gonna try an experiment. I'm gonna sew this corner down. My problem with, I think what's gonna happen here is that then I'm gonna have the threads of my sewing showing and have to deal with those. You know? It's an experiment though. We're on our last like 5 minutes. So. Oh, the clips. I like the clips. They're just bulky. I do like them for certain things. That's a little nicer. It's not quite my usual little trick. Oh, but it didn't really get under there. 1, 2. That's what it is. I just need to turn it twice. There we go. That's kind of nice. Because I think you could, if you're doing this as a garment that's like maybe for fancy dress or something, you could really work on this little juncture here being a continuous corner turn so you don't have a back stitch there. It would look a little more elegant. Say this was for like over a wedding dress or something. I don't know. I bought a sweater from Bowden to wear at my wedding. And I knit then. Like hemming this neckline makes me hecka nervous. I would never hem a neckline. But because it's got this big long swoop, I'm gonna trust. I didn't really like the juncture of the shoulder. So when I'm doing this right now and I'm turning it, if you guys know I always say I'm a puller. I always pull things too tight. That would create, because this thickness right here, I don't know if you'll even be able to see it, but boy, this looks terrible on camera. It's so pretty in person. So right here, because this is really thin compared to this, I can get this kind of thing, or it gets narrow right there. And so I always struggle with that, especially like, see, this juncture is pretty sudden. It's not very I want to get a nice smooth juncture and see, look, that's what happens. So I'm going to have to kind of finesse that. I almost changed that in the pattern, but I just decided just to trust it. I knew it would be kind of an issue. So I'm going to kind of try and get this to be an equidistant, like a equal width there. Same thing on the back end here. And now we're kind of in the clear for like 4 inches. And we have to do it all over again. Let's get rid of some of this. I have my shoulder seam here turned the wrong way, and I know that. I don't want to hear about it. Alright, it's the same thing. That juncture is really thick. The transition's a little like not there. So I'm going to try and finesse it a little bit. But see, look at how wide this is right here that I'm trying to do. And now I'm going to try and bring it back out. And I kind of slide this right here. It's a little tricky. What the heck happened to the color of this? It was pretty good earlier, wasn't it? This camera's been acting up a little bit. Oh, it was you only did you turn it? Yeah, right, Sydney. That is the key. I mean, if you can do that, I think that makes those really long edges great. Just to serge it and turn it once. I like doing that too, Ray. Like just a little bit of stitching. Sometimes I'd rather tack it. That's what I call tacking in all my patterns. I tack it rather than pin it. All right, let's get rid of this. This is where I started, and I didn't backstitch, and I think that was the way to go. It looks nicer. See if I can stop it. Like, look at that. See, I stopped right at that little seam there. I didn't go through it, so it does look a little cleaner, but these stitches go straight through. I never used the thread they gave me because this matched so good. All right, let's iron it and hope for the best. Oh yeah, that baby hem. Yeah, if you have something tightly woven, that works pretty good. It's kind of a pain in the butt. I've had to do some extremely narrow hems. Like this thing looks like a, you know, like it would gobble it up compared. But you have to do it on a pretty tight woven. Nothing as thready as this one. So that's not too bad. But do you see what I mean? Like see how these little fold lines are? You can see, you probably just by seeing that, you know now what I was trying to prevent right here when I was sewing that. Because of all these thicknesses here. A pressed cloth would be really nice not to get that shiny. My iron's not quite hot. You know, this one, this is the one I have the shoulder seam going the wrong direction, and it actually looks better. It worked better with that weird transition. See that nice curve there? Okay. So oh, I haven't hemmed the sleeves yet. Well, shoot. That really steals my thunder. All right, Una. Thanks for hanging out. It's nice to see you. Sleep well. I think I'm gonna have to get my ironing board out for this one. This isn't ideal, all this little bit of torquing there. Let's see if I can get it out though. Wait, this needs to go back this way. So I just remembered that we have those pockets in the side seams, so I'm not sure pressing these seams that direction actually is what's happening up there at the pocket though. Those are probably going towards the front. But the side back seams are definitely going towards the back. Pumpkin spice cardigan. This one's a little better with the torquing, huh? Maybe coming down the curve I do better going down the curve than I do going up a curve, you know? Sorry, I keep bonking this. Plus, I don't know why it's so small today. All these wrinkles. You know, I find that, well, what I do is I will iron the fabric, but like before I'm going to do my project, you know, and then I gently fold it up and I create all those creases. Those totally look like my folds. I'm sure it's what that is. That looks pretty good. You know, that shape. Ow, ow, ow. All right. All right, so let's see about our sleeve here. I would love a bigger piece of meat here, not the salami. We need a ham. It looks pretty good. Once this is washed, I'll bet that'll help the French seam armhole too. It doesn't look, does it? I mean, I feel like the cap is just kind of not in the right spot right here. It could be better. Pretty good for a first prototype, but yeah, I'm not sure about this sleeve. Maybe I should have just used mine. Well, then I wouldn't have been using the pattern. Never mind. All right. Oh my gosh, get out of there. This little bump, you see that? It's funny. I don't think my issue right here is the amount of gathers. It actually ended up not being a big deal to get all that in there. I think my issue is the shape of the cap to the armhole. That looks like pretty good. I don't know, for the most part. Let's try this one here. Did I have any other things I needed to fix? I need to do the sleeve hems, but was there... I kind of fixed anything I found, right? Pretty sure. Pretty sure I got everything. So it's the same bump on this side. That's why I think it's the cap. It was a little flat. And these little threads are for my from my French seam. I hate those little threads because I'm really bad about removing them if I do find them afterward. And then I'll see it when I'm ironing, you know, like a week from now if this was my garment. And then I'll think, oh, I gotta fix that, and I don't. And it's just one of those things that just keep haunting me over and over again. All right. Let's try it on the dress form. I know I still have the sleeve hems to go, but I would really like to just try this on the dress form and see kind of if we're in the ballpark. Oh, Peter Lappin, yeah. Oh, that's too short. Almost on the ground. So I think these shoulders are a little broad for me. So remember that I changed the size that I cut. Let's see. Oh, shoot. Forgot that's not tethered in there. That a little better? So when I changed the sizing of the garment to fit so that we could make it in a woven, I used the extra large for the circumference to add enough ease. That made the shoulders a lot wider than me. You see that? But other than that, that trick kind of worked. And then look at that. The sleeve's actually not too bad. So if it were up here, it's actually pretty good. It's not a sleeve with a lot of lift, but you know, most folks don't put those in there. All right, and then you can see the cascade. Can you see the cascade? Hey Esther, how's it going? No, I just finished. I haven't done the sleeves yet, but I've been pretty interested to see if this is gonna work because we did it in a woven. It looks so much better in front of me than it does on the thing because of the color and the neon lights are just awful. Got couples. Oh, and we have our pockets. Look at that. Can't even see them. They're there. This one's on her butt. There we go. It's really long. I don't know if you guys can see how long it is there. Is that a better view? Look how dramatic that is. It looks very Halloween-y, doesn't it? All right, Alter, enjoy your pizza. That sounds so good right now. Anything sounds good. Yeah, exactly, Ray. If I would have used my sleeve, I would make it 2 pieces to stick with hers. But I didn't want to do that because I wanted to use the pattern since it's a sponsored stream. So, trying to catch up on chat. I'll make sure you guys are just chatting about that other thing. Okay. This would hang to my ankles, I'm pretty sure. So if I put this my height, that's still taller than me. Yeah, I mean, almost. A klutz like me would never be able to survive in the world with this, but yeah, so the shoulders are a little wide. I'm just laughing because this is so fancy feeling. Can you see how long it is on me? You can't. I've got so much junk over here today. I brought the dogs to work yesterday, and so I had this chair here for Molly. But you know who got into it. So there you go. It is on my ankles. What do you guys think? Yeah, looks pretty good, huh? So would you guys make a shorter version? It's very dramatic. Yeah, so I would probably, if this were for me, I'd bring in the shoulders a little bit. It totally seems perfect for you then, Melinda. I mean, I like the way this looks right here. You know? It's very fun. Yeah, exactly. Hey, Derek, exactly. It does need that. These shoulders are a little wide for me. My little sleeves kind of crumpled in there. I can't see the other one because of my thread cradle's in the way right here. All right, yeah, not bad. You'd make it this length, Barbara? I almost sat on that and then I would have fallen finally on camera. Oh, I don't want to make you guys sick. Is it upside down? No, it isn't. Okay, good. Yeah, it kind of goes with the dress. Not quite the same vibe, is it? This looks so crooked. I never see streamers monkey around with their stuff as much as I do. All right. I just need to do the sleeves, the hems. And I want them right side out. Ooh, it's a lot of coat. How did the sleeve length look on me? It looked okay. It looks short in the picture. So I've been kind of wondering about that. Is this in the way? It's not. That's so weird. Okay. Okay, Nancy. Yeah, you gotta feed those dogs. You're welcome. Thanks for the tip. That was really nice of you. I appreciate it. Give those dogs a snuggle. All right, so this this would have been a knit. She had you get a knit appropriate interfacing for the hem. I think, look how small that looks, but it didn't feel, I don't remember feeling anything. So they a tiny long, well, they have a 2-inch hem. Look how small that is. It's fine though. I'm just so banged up. My arms are so banged up. Good thing I'm not a hand model, right? Okay, so I pushed these seams towards the main part of the sleeve, right? Yeah, so let's make sure that those are still pressed that way. I don't like twisted seams, but I kind of forgive myself if it happens occasionally, you know? I have this little bug here. I don't know if you can see it. All right. So I'm just gonna fold it along the hemline. I'm gonna kind of finger press it here. This. And I'm gonna turn it under a tiny bit and top stitch it down. Just like that. Definitely don't want to torque the sleeve hem. And it would be really easy to do because it's really tiny in there. Ironing it first would give you a better chance of, you know, success. Always. Yeah, it's got a really wide sleeve hem. Kind of interesting, huh? I like that. I think that looks really nice usually. But you don't usually see that in knits. Sew keys. Oh, what's it called? That's like a knit interfacing. I know Hearts has a knit interfacing. I used it on one of their projects, and it was actually really awesome. They also have woven interfacing, which I really like. Not bad. I got it a little uneven. Okay, so make sure. I thought I saw a little oil there. When I used my machine daily for 6 to 8 hours a day, I never had oil creep down, but now I do. It's kind of funny. All right, so let's even this up. I didn't have to do this on the other one. Remember when I sewed this and I was like, why isn't this even? I must have got the other one even. So this is my last bit of this. Oh my gosh, I'm about to throw those scissors away. I sharpened all my scissors with that Ginger stone, you know. Ironically, the Ginger pair didn't come out as good as all the others. And that was the Ginger pair. So on Thursday, I'll be cutting out the Hudson pants. And I don't know if Barbara's still here, but Barbara, were you the one who told me about, who was it that told me about the Hudsons coming in? They're going to give a variation that's higher waisted. So apparently the Hudson pants are coming out with a variation that are higher waisted because they are very low rise. And I'm not a big fan of that myself. These aren't for me, but for Lexi's friend or Lexi. So just so you know that, keep an eye out for that if you're interested in the Hudsons. But you're a little nervous about that high rise. I mean low rise. Not me, not you, Barbara? Okay. You always like make these really nice comments later on. Like you're so informative, so I just go to you thinking it's you. Even though this fabric is thready, it's so great to sew with because it's so forgiving, you know? And you saw like that heft had such great drape, you know? For this garment, it's pretty good. Some of those bamboo tencel knits though would probably be really good in this. They have a lot of heft and drape to them. All right, now we're done. Oh, I forgot my label. The Hudsons are fleece. Yeah, like sweatpants, but stylish. My little label would match so good in here. I think I'm gonna do it in the side seam. That one, yeah. I'm going to do it like that. Like that, and then like that. I gotta stop forgetting these. Give support without changing the hand. What a lovely little like tagline. Which one do you have that's similar, Esther? All right. I've left my mark. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, Sydney. I can show you what I got here. We'll put this on Bear Me over here. Let's see. Oh, it's an obstacle course. Okay. so the Hudson pants have the cinched ankles. I almost turned this over to show you the back. Oh, yep. It's my first day here. View B must be cropped at the back. There you go. Oh, Stella jogger. Okay, cool. That's great. So then there's an option. Lexi loungers. I think someone else mentioned those, Sydney, that they're similar. So this right here is this like olive green. The inside, the brush side's very olive green. The outside's kind of sagey. It's a little greener in person. It's pretty close. And this is the hemp fleece sage. And then she also included the black bamboo rib, but they're out of stock and they're trying to get it in. So this is what she has. So this is by True Bias. So this is what I'm making next week. So yeah, I haven't looked these over yet. I probably should. Okay, just to keep getting myself into these little pickles. Oh, okay, so it's a 1-layer pocket, which is great because then it's less bulky if you're doing it in fleece, and it looks like it has a facing for the pocket opening maybe, or an edging. And then it has a draw cord, but she's not going to do that, so it's just an elastic waist. Looks like a separate waist casing for the elastic. And then the cuffs. Okay. This I can probably do almost 100% on my serger. Yeah, right, Sydney? I do that a lot too. I like doing that too. I like it when they have it matching. In fact, have you seen IC fabrics? Like IC fabrics? That's so great, Esther. That's so great. You're right on track there. You're gonna have something similar. Well, this was great. This pattern was really great. It was really fun. It was a good challenge, right? So if you guys ever shop at Hearts, there's a code on my screen there, right here. Feels like magic to do that. And get 10% off anything there. Very soft sweatshirt bamboo fleece. This does feel like it has a lot of structure. And there is a stretch thing, a little chart right here. I saw 40%. Hold a 4-inch piece. Would that really be 40%? I'm kind of curious. This doesn't have 40% stretch. Usually 20% is about right. Well, maybe that's just for jeans. I'm too hungry. I can't figure it out. I gotta go. Bye. All right. Well, thanks, you guys. It was great. Thanks for all the tips and donations and the Patreon pledges lately. I really appreciate it. And let's see, what else do I have to say? I don't have much to say, but I do have the new bin pattern, or the videos out, and they're only $3 each, and the bin pattern got an update with the lid and a couple other things. So if you're interested in that and a few other patterns on my website. So is one basting stitch okay? And now I was looking at the stitches down the center of the casing, so that's what the other thing I was thinking of. So cool. That'll be cool. We could just do the whole serger. I have to get needles this week. I don't have a second needle, and I really need a second needle for this one. So, all right. I will see you guys on Thursday, same time, same place. I'm Sarami. I'll see you then. I hope you enjoyed yourself, and make sure you like and comment and stuff like that. It really does actually help. I didn't know it does, but if you can like or comment on the video, subscribe. Click the little bell if you want to be notified when I'm live, and you'll find out when I go live. And I usually upload a schedule every week or at least once a month on Instagram. So, all right. Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend. I will see you guys soon.